Hello, this is John from caveofprogramming.com. In this tutorial we're going to take a look at creating text files in C++. So files are one of the areas where there's some divergence in terms of the names of headers, especially between different platforms. So if you find the code that I'm about to show you doesn't work, then it's worth Googling for example, create text file Visual C++, something like that in Google to get some example code for your particular system. But what I'm about to show you is basically how it works, and it's going to work basically like this for any C++ system, but it's possible you might have slightly different header files or something. So let's include in here fstream, so it could be fstream.h or something like that, but on here it's fstream, or you might even need to include offstream. So this stands for file stream, and streams are objects that we can basically write data to or read it from in a sort of continuous sort of stream. So we're going to use a class from this called offstream, which stands for output file stream. Let's declare an object of the type offstream. Let's call this output file, or you could just call it outf or something like that. Some C++ programmers are really fond of terse variable names. I like things that are a bit longer. Let's at least call it outfile. Now I can do outfile.open, so this is really simple. We can just open the file with a file name like this. And when we've done that, we want to check that it is open. So let's say if outfile.is_open, then we can go ahead and write to the file. If it isn't open, we probably want to output some kind of error message or handle it somehow in our program. I'm just going to use cout to say could not create file. Now it would be nice if we could include the file name in the cout error message here. So to do that, let's get rid of test.text as an argument to open, and let's create a string here. Let's call it string output file name equals test.text. Then we can use this string in the argument to offstream outfile.open, and we can also use it in this error message down here, which is a really good thing to do because there's nothing worse than a program which can't create a file or can't open a file but won't tell you which file it can't open. It's really annoying. So once we've checked that it is open, we can go ahead and write to it, and this is really simple. It's just like using cout. So we can write a line like this: hello there. Now we don't have to finish this with endler, because when you close the file, all the output will be flushed and written to the file. So you only need to use you don't need to use flush, and you only need to use endler if you want to create a new line. So I'm going to create a new line here. So you can write whatever. Basically, you can write whatever to this that you would be able to write to cout. So we can write some numbers like that, for example. That's enough to be going on with, I think. Or, well, this isn't actually a number, it's still a string, but let's take the quotes off and prove that you can also write a number. And finally, we must remember to do outfile.close. It's really important. So if I run this file like this, then if I right-click my project and click refresh so we can see all the latest files that are in this project folder, we see we have in fact created a test.txt. And if you want to find that on the disk, if you right-click the project and go to Properties and look at Resource, you should be able to find the actual location of your project there, and you should be able to browse to this file. So if we look at test.txt, we've got the data there that we've written to it, which is exactly what we want. Let's see. Yeah, there's one variation on this that you might see is. This is kind of a convenience class, and it sort of means the same as this. So instead of offstream, which is output file stream, we could use this. We could use fstream file stream outfile, and if we use that instead of doing outfile.open like that, let's just copy it. We would then need to specify that it's an output file by supplying the argument ios ios out. So must be a static variable of this ios class here. So you can either use offstream output file stream, that stands for, or use fstream and specify ios out. Both of these ways work. If I run this, I'm going to get the same result again. It's just going to overwrite that file there. So that's basically it for this tutorial. I don't think there's anything really important to say at the moment. I'd suggest for an exercise, of course, try doing this yourself and see if you can, for example, write the same line to a file over and over again, like 10 times or something, and number the lines. So put the number at the beginning of each line, just to get a bit of practice with writing numbers to a file as well. So have a go at that. You know, create a file. Use a loop to write to the file and do stuff like this is a line to this is another line. Have a go at that for an exercise if you feel like it. Well, let's make all the lines the same because because it's easier. If you kind of want extra credit there, you could take the lines, read them from an array or something like that, and write different lines to each file, but it's up to you. But I'll put this as numbers because it's worth just trying this with numbers or some other primitive type as well as strings, just to get that into your head a bit. Okay, so that's it for this tutorial. Until next time, happy coding.